tonight is about Dungeons and Dragons and diving back into Ravenloft. Before we dive in, let's do some introductions, and then we'll do a little bit of a recap, and then we'll dive in. So Laz is out tonight. We're down a Laz. So, which means we should have a pretty smooth night.
Oh, them fighting words.
The fighting word. This should go off without a hitch, without any problems. All right, so let's go ahead.
Where's our favorite turtle?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, it actually kind of goes with the story. Minor spoilers. So let's go ahead and start with our introduction. So thank you so much as we dive back in for episode 5 of Masters of Dread. And as we get started, let's do our introductions. Up top, we have...
Hi, everyone. I'm Ellie. Elbell here on Twitch. I was almost about to introduce Anne. I play a spirit, College of Spirits bard named Esteel. And she hears spooky, creepy things all the time.
Yes, she does. She does see dead people. And then below us in the Motorhead shirt, we have...
Hey, I am Danny. I play Darundal, the Dampier Swarmkeeper Ranger.
That's right.
And I guess that's about it.
Okay. And then all the way down at the bottom in the green shirt, I'm guessing that's green. Lime? Very much green.
It's lime.
It's lime shirt we have.
Hello, I'm Wes, and I'm playing Xiv, the reborn wild magic barbarian, and I'm having a blast.
You are. It is. This is the first big bruiser I think you've ever really played. So it's been fun to see you go with that tonight. All right, so we are down one Laz tonight, so I will absolutely not change anything that happens based on your one player down. It just means it's a little bit harder. That's how we roll. So as we dive in tonight, we're going to dive back into our favorite place. We're going to dive back into, as we always start, back in Waterdeep, a familiar place in Faerun, and we go to the Troll Skull Manor. So let's go ahead and kick up some music as we get started and dive back in to our tavern scene. This is the Troll Skull Manor. As every week we get together, we visit, we go into the tavern, and we see the large half-orc Lujong, who's the proprietor of the establishment, and he's welcoming everyone in. He says, "Oh, welcome, Ghost, I see you're here, Sunshine, and Bloka, and welcome everyone, come on in." And as you've been here several weeks now in a row to see the marvelous Marcus Madmore perform and to tell his tale, this spooky tale of Ravenloft, you've all kind of gotten your regular tables, and everyone comes in, and you see all the locals. You know the menu at this point. You know the drinks. You always hear what the specials are. But at this time, you all kind of travel in and get into your seats. And as the night progresses and as dinner is served and the tavern is playing and the bards are playing their music, it's a little bit past, halfway through the meal, that is when Marcus makes his appearance. And as Marcus comes in, dressed to the nines as always in his silken shirt and his very nice, tailored vest, he comes in and he greets everybody. He says, "Oh, welcome everyone as we dive back in. Thank you so much for joining us." And he looks around and he says, "Well, we need to change things up here." And he looks in the back and he points toward the bards in the back and he says, "You need to please turn that down." And as the music begins to fade, he begins to move his hand in a circular motion as this orb appears in his hand, and all of a sudden this new music picks up. As that happens, the candles begin to dim in the room, and everyone kind of like pulls their seats in and knows that the next part of the tale is to be told. And as Marcus goes and he invites everyone to come in, he says, "Oh yes, and welcome, and I do want to remind everyone that this is a story that was told to me. It's not something that I simply came up, but it was told to me by one who experienced these events and is a voice from the beyond. And I will now try to tell the tale as best that I can, but one of the things that we need to talk about tonight, before we dive in, is I will ask you a question, is what exactly is time? As these events have happened in the past, or is it in the future? It is very difficult to see how the time threads are kind of intertwined together. But as we go and we look into this other realm, just remember, is this things that have happened, are happening, or will soon happen? And that is when we dive in tonight. And as he kind of gives that forewarning, the orb in front of him begins to grow and gets larger and larger. As that orb goes in, we see a scene that we saw just a few weeks ago as we were here together, as a hut out in the woods. And you see some very concerned individuals standing about that hut and looking down at a very large turtle that's laid out on the inside of the hut, barely clinging to life. We see the body of Baka. Standing over Baka, we see Esteel, who is standing above him, and she's looking over him and looking concerned, knowing that he's alive, but just barely. Also in the room, we see Darundal, our Dampier ranger friend, and as he looks over the situation, he leaves and he says something over to Xiv, our giant reborn, and he says, I must leave and get us away out of here. Before what happened last week, as we kind of remember what had happened, they had busted out of the city of Verone and had a very bloody affair as they were leaving town and were kind of on the run. Xiv finally managed to come back up and catch up with the rest of the village, to the rest of his compatriots, but the village is aware. And we had found that they were safe in the woods as long as it was night. They were safe from the villagers, but in the woods and at night, you are never safe from the Dreadlord himself. And that is where we pick up. As Darundal goes, he is leaving the group to go back into Verone to find rides and horses. He rides off, and you don't hear the thundering hooves of his horse as he goes, because they've attached these magic horseshoes to the bottom of his horse, and he's able to silently move off into the woods on his black steed as he goes back to town to try to double back and find other horses or other means of transportation, knowing that when the sun rises or as light begins to illuminate, that the villagers will go out and be hunting for this group. So that is where we pick up. Darundal, you are off to Verone. We're going to pick up with Xiv, who is standing guard outside the small hut just outside of Verone. And we're going to go. So this is, you're outside of Verone, but let's go ahead and pull up the map of Verone itself. And you're kind of off all the way up here in the corner, just outside of town, kind of hiding in the not so distant forest. So Xiv, what are you going to do?
Well, I do need to know at what point we've rested, because I took quite a beating in the last area.
We have not rested yet. Now, you could take a short rest if you want to try to kind of pull yourself together from the beating you took from the villagers. In fact, your arm is still burning from the silver bullet slug that's burned into your arm, into your somewhat infected arm.
Somebody to try to help me fix that?
Now, Miriam comes out, Darandal's mother, and she looks over and she goes, "Oh, I can try to pry that out, but I don't know if I have much for your pain."
Oh, don't worry about that.
And with that, she reaches over and she grabs a small little, knife, and she digs into your arm, and she's able to remove. Now, it should hurt, but it doesn't. You don't feel the pain as she digs it out, and as it digs out, what you do, you don't feel anything, but you do smell burned flesh, because as that slug comes out, it actually burns its way back out because the silver is toxic to you. So she's able to pull that slug out, and she's looking down at it, and she goes, "Huh," and it's still perfectly round.
I would like to keep that in my bag.
The silver round?
Ellie may be able to use this later, so...
Miriam goes, "Oh, would you like to give this to Esteel?" So she goes and she hands you the silver slug.
Am I standing with him, or am I inside?
You're inside, but you see this is happening right outside. It's a very small hut, and the door is open. You see this happening. She just kind of walks back in and hands it to you.
Thank you.
Now, can I roll hit dice now?
Yes, you may.
And I get to roll how many?
4.
And it's D12?
4 D12.
Or D10?
It's D12 for you. And just a reminder that we are doing healing a little bit different. We're going with the variant healing rule, so it's a little bit harder. But you do heal for 24.
Puts me at 1 off max.
Oh, good. All right, so you just basically sit, and as you sit, the wild magic energy inside you starts to kind of pulsate, and all of your wounds start kind of pulling together as you just kind of rest. And whatever magic you infused in yourself when you created, because you're kind of realizing now that the magician Malagris's mind is in you, that you kind of in a way created yourself. That magic is now coursing through your body and is pulling your wounds and closing your wounds. As you're doing that, Estelle, what are you doing?
Can I roll a medicine check on Baka and just see how he's doing?
Yes, you may. That's a mighty 6. So you rolled a 5 plus 1 on your medicine check. So what you can tell is you feel that he has a pulse, which is a grand improvement from where he was earlier. But he seems to be clinging to life. He seems to be feverish. But he's also mumbling something. He seems very distraught. He's not resting comfortably, but he is mumbling something.
I'd like to, just in my mind, reach out to any spirits and see if there's just anyone around that can help calm or just give him a little bit more peace.
You reach out into the spirit world, and as you look about, you do see the spirit of a small halfling walking about the outside, and the small halfling walks in and looks in and goes, and sees you make eye contact, and he looks over the small. It looks like a child, but as you look over, it's a grown, fully grown halfling, a spirit, looking over the body and goes, "Oh, yeah, he's toiling for sure."
Is there anything you can do to help him rest a little easier?
Oh no, he is fighting something vile. He's not out of the woods yet.
Okay.
He looks over and goes, he's strong, but it's whatever is pulling. There's something still pulling him to this world.
Let's hope it keeps pulling him to this world.
I'm going to ask Elle to relay me the other side of the conversation she just heard, because I'm interested in this now, and I think I have because we don't know what happened. Our characters don't know what happened. Really.
No.
We know what we saw was like a winged creature.
Correct.
Now, did she touch him, or what did we see that she did to him?
You didn't see anything. You just came in and you saw a body on the ground. You saw this female with these bat-like wings just vanish into the ether in front of you after she kind of mocked you and laughed.
So, as I'm standing over and look at him, like another side of me kind of takes over, and I'm going to start inspecting him, looking for any kind of mark or wound or anything.
Give me a knowledge history check.
I'll use knowledge of past life.
Perfect.
History.
Nope, give me your...
So that's 7.
Ooh, you did it. You
11.
did it. As you're sitting here looking over, you don't really know what is going on with him, but you do recall something in the book that you took, your Malagris's tome, that would allow you to share minds and kind of get a better idea. There's a ritual of sorts, or an experiment, we'll call it, of something you could do to meld your mind with Baka to see what's going on.
I'm going to go, wait. And I'm going to reach into the pouch and pull out the book. Is it still covered in silver? Is the book covered in silver, or just the music box?
Just the music box.
Okay. So I'm going to pull out the book, and I'm going to show Estelle, and I'll say, this was in where I was. Long story. I think there's something in here that might help us, and we're going to look through it together.
Okay, so as you pull out, there is an experiment. We won't call it a ritual. This is very scientific. It was an experiment that you, in a past life, were able to do. Basically all you need is something that you can kind of fuse to yourself and to the other person, and you just basically need some copper wiring. And with a little jolt of electricity and a little incantation, you would actually be able to enter the mind of the person for a brief moment to see what's going on.
I'm gonna tell Estelle that I believe that there is a way to share minds, but I don't think it should be me. I think it should be you. I think it should be somebody familiar with Baka, and I think I would be intrusive.
All right.
Would you like to try this experiment? I myself have never done it, but I have.
Will it harm him or I?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Not getting as much confidence out of that answer as I would like, but I would desperately like to be able to help him.
All right, so
I hope that he is okay with it. And let's
so
find
I
out
can
what
gather the things together.
You need copper wiring, which is what you don't have.
I'm gonna approach Miriam and see if she knows of any copper wiring that we could borrow temporarily.
I don't have any here. We might be able to find some in town, but that might be dangerous.
Are we close enough to town to see the lights?
Yes, in the distance.
I mean, if someone needs to go to town and not look like themselves, I can help with that for an hour.
How long would it take us to get back towards town?
And Miriam says, well, it just depends on how quickly you're trying to go. But Darundal should be back soon if he was able to get more horses.
For some reason, Estelle, I seem to think those lamp contraptions back in the town, something's telling me it should contain copper.
I can't remember if they were open flame or not.
Oh, they were marvelous.
They were definitely not open flame.
Well, if you feel you can go speedy, I can make it so you don't look like yourself.
We should definitely wait on Darundal, I think. Yes, we should.
Okay.
As a few moments pass, you hear a carriage coming down the way, making its way through the small path through the woods. In the distance, Xiv, you're out. You see two horses pulling a carriage. You also see your companion Darundal driving the cart. As the cart pulls up, you see that it is a large cart. There are two horses. Also, he has a third horse behind him that's kind of being pulled, which is his the black steed Equinox. And as he's pulling those up, you look up and you see you do notice that Darundal has just a little bit of blood hanging off the side of his mouth, and he kind of like wasn't a problem as he returns with the cart.
Hello there.
So you have a four-wheeled carriage that you were able to lift from the outside of the city. Remember, the city has no walls, only the hedge maze, on the kind of not maze, but the hedge around on the outside is all that they have.
Does it have a canvas in the back?
It does.
Okay, I could high note of that if needed.
You could. I mean, it's you gotta think like a Wild West carriage that has like the canopy on the back, like you're going out to Oklahoma kind of thing.
A Conestoga.
Yes. So
The Oregon Trail, we can ford.
Yes. So you've got the Oregon Trail carriage. All right. So at this point, you've got the carriage. You're still in the midst of night, and Miriam comes out and goes, "Oh, good. We should probably make haste and leave. They will definitely be looking for us whenever the night ends."
Well, let's not be here.
And Miriam goes inside and she grabs a pack and is putting food and supplies and water and different things in there, and is looking about. And she goes, "We'll have to put your friend Baka in the back. Xiv? Is that something you could help me with?" And by help her, it's more like, can you do this?
I'll just carry him to the cart.
All right, so you just fireman carry the 400-pound turtle over your back and bring him in. You set him down in the back. You got his bags and everything. And as you're loading him in the back, Darundal, in the distance, you hear something mustering out into the woods towards town. It seems that there might be something of a posse being gathered up to follow you. You hear it in the distance.
How far?
They're still back in town, but you're not that far outside of town. You can just hear the voices. And normally you hear horses being drawn, and like you hear the clopping of horses and things.
I'll tell them, let's make haste. They are gathering. I hear pitchforks and shovels, among other things.
So at this point, Miriam has got everything. She's in the back. She's looking over. She's giving, you can see her like grabbing some herbs and kind of putting it under the nose of Baka, trying to arouse him, but with no effect whatsoever. But she's still trying to take care of Baka in the back with her things. As she is doing that, what are the other three of you going to be doing? So we'll start with Estelle. What are you going to be doing?
I would say to Xiv, stick close to me and I can help you blend in if need be. And then I'd go straight to Baka and help make sure that he was at least comfortable.
Okay.
Even though he might not know it.
All right, so Estelle, you're going to be in the back of the carriage with Miriam. Who's driving the cart? And then we also have the other horse.
I guess I'll be driving it because I don't know if Xiv even knows how. He just woke up like the day before.
I could try.
Yeah, let's not.
Xiv, you noticed in your past life you know how to drive a wagon.
I could do this.
Okay.
Animals love me.
I'll ride my horse kind of next to it or behind it.
Okay. All right. So you're on your horse, silently riding next to it with your magic hooves. And as you ride that horse, the hooves come very close to touching the ground, but never do. So there's never any sound. It is a stealth horse. As you're riding next on the carriage, the carriage itself makes a lot of noise as you break off. Everything is the lights, the candles are out, and there's only one lantern that's like on the front of the wagon itself. As you begin to pull out and go out towards away from town and actually towards the shore is where you're going. There's a path that you can take down the beach that is probably the best way to evade as you're heading back out to shore. Xiv, give me an animal handling check to see if you do actually recall a way to handle this cart. See how well these horses...
10. I thought animals helped you.
That's enough. 10 is fine. This is pretty easy. You get on there. You kind of know what you're doing. You drive the wagon. You bump a couple of trees on the way out. Just got to kind of remember how you're doing it, and you make your way out and away. As it's a bumpy ride.
Keep it between the trees. I remember that.
Keep it between the trees. As you're doing that, Miriam and Estelle are in the back, trying to, keep Baka's kind of rocking back and forth on his turtle shell. So you're trying to stuff bags on it under his shell to try to make him where he's not rocking in the back and forth. As you're rolling out, Darundal, you look in the back and you can see that what you can hear and see in the distance, the lights. You see torch lights, or maybe more like lanterns, kind of cascading through the wood behind you. They are out looking for you in the distance, and I wouldn't say they're closing, but they're definitely making their way in this direction. They are tracking.
Now,
Okay.
they only saw me, right?
It was the whole crew, but mainly you.
Can you disguise yourself as well, Estelle?
Yes. Well, I can
If you
only
need
do.
to,
I can only do one at a time, but
perhaps you can disguise yourself with other means and disguise me with magical means. Like, put your hair in a thing, and I don't know why.
You could just do a disguise self, is what he's saying. It's like a check.
But
I can
if you do need to transform me, make it a
Now?
turtle. Yes,
Okay.
I would say yes.
And you want
Turtle.
to be a turtle? Do you
It will make sense for the weight.
would you like
As
to look
as you two are having this conversation, you basically, the way I'm seeing this scene play out, Xiv is up front driving the horse, and Estelle's kind of got her head stuck out of the cart, the Oregon Trail cart, like, yeah, kind of sticking out, like, you want me to do what? And as you two are having this conversation and driving through the woods, both of you make a quick perception check. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Xiv, you're very focused on this plan that you're concocting, and you know, as you're making this plan, there's like a little surge of electricity on the side of your head as your brain is trying to concoct this plan. And as you're doing that, Estelle, you're talking to him, but in the distance, you see another light coming in the distance. You see another looks like a hooded lamp far in the distance off to the woods, and you look at maybe there's another carriage in the distance in front of you.
is it getting
You're getting closer to it because it looks like it's stationary.
there's something up ahead? Stationary, it seems. Darundal, do you see that?
I can kind of trot up and look. Try to get as close as I can. See exactly what it is.
You can either give me an animal handling or a stealth check, since the situation with your horse with the shoes, whichever one is better. Which probably for you is stealth. If you want to try to stealthily ride up to this carriage that's in front of you, it's kind of up to the left.
If we are to stop at this carriage, I should definitely be disguised before I get there, because then they'll have seen me transform, and they might report us.
I'll put my hand on his shoulder and cast disguise self.
Okay, and you turn him into a turtle.
Yes. Whatever kind of turtle he wants to look like that he would have described to me while I was looking at this light.
Okay. So, Xiv, you turn into a turtle driving this cart. Darundal, you
with
ride...
a tricorn hat.
With the... Yes, of course.
I'm expecting the tricorn hat to just come out of, out of camera and just be like, bloop.
All right, it's just there. All right. As you're driving this, Darundal, you ride forward, doing the best that you can. It's a lot of thick, brush you're riding through. Your horse lays out like a pretty loud as he's kind of riding through, which totally blows, the whole stealth idea, being that you rolled a 1, plus 7 is 8. But you do manage, you break through, you see a carriage parked there, and it's kind of open and in display of everything, as if like it's set up like a shop of some sorts. Let me find that. And this is what you see.
Wizard of Oz.
You see a cart, you see the lantern flickering off, and you see a female walking about, open the doors, and kind of setting out different things. Like maybe she's setting up some type of merchant shop.
Do I recognize this person?
Give me a history check. You have heard of this, and you kind of get excited that this is probably one of those Vistani that you've heard so much about.
Ooh. Okay, because we were looking for an Olga, weren't we? No.
Olga
No.
Olga is the hag that Esteel is
Right.
looking for, but you also had a lead of trying to find the Vistani.
That's right. Yeah, I'll report back to the others that seems to be a Vistani up ahead.
Now, as you pull the horse back, as you turn your head over your shoulder, you look. The lady that's looking at, she looks out and she kind of she sees you and kind of waves as you kind of turn away from it. So she sees you and does not seem to be frightened.
Okay, good. Until the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out of the back. We'll see how she's frightened then. All right.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell everybody. Looks to be a Vistani up ahead.
Should we stop?
Are they common? Is that something that can easily be found? Seems
No.
that
No. They're mysterious. They kind of travel here or there. They've been known. You've heard stories of people finding these strange merchants just kind of show up in the middle of nowhere and then disappear in the middle of the night. But more recently, we've heard more stories about the fact that they can kind of move between the mist, which is very interesting to a few people in the party.
So then I think we should stop.
We do know that they're right behind us. Are there horses hooked to her cart, or is it alone?
You did not see any horses.
Is it still a good ways up ahead?
It's a little ways, 50, 60 yards.
Darundal, right ahead and see if she could transport us through the mist now to escape these behind us. What she would charge. We were wanting to do it anyway.
What do you think, Grim? Mother.
Who?
What does Miriam say?
Miriam says, if they find us, they'll kill us. We've got to find a way out. Can we outrun them? But
Not in this wagon.
Let me run ahead and see if this Vistani knows anything.
See if she could find a way to Lord Brunwald.
Okay. All right. I'll gallop. Silently.
Randall, you can figure this out. You've got this. I don't know if that counts as a bardic inspiration, but that's my attempt.
Duranda, you feel very inspired at the confidence your party has in you to go and figure this out. But yeah, you
can
are,
do it.
You now are the recipient of bardic inspiration, as you
a D6.
D6 to a skill or something.
Okay.
Okay, so as you move forward back, so you're riding up. So the cart is still moving. There's a posse coming through the woods. Yeah. As you move forward, you do go up and you see this lady standing out, and has all the robes and everything, looks out and kind of waves. As you get closer, you see that she's got adorned with several different necklaces. Even she has gold twine mixed into her hair. Let me actually pull up a picture here. No, you gotta do better now. So you see this red-headed individual, this lady with this green cloak, and she reaches out. She's actually holding what looks to be some type of crystallized skull, and she's kind of petting it in this way. And she goes, "Oh, please come, please. I have wares. Are you interested? Do you have coin?"
I do. Do you have a way to get us somewhere that is not here?
Oh, that is something I could do, but what is your name, good sir?
My name is Darundal.
Oh, my name is Adelina. Nice to meet you. What you only seek passage to another place?
Maybe you could bestow upon us the gift of knowledge of passing through the mists?
Roll perception check. Oh no, it's a persuasion check. Persuasion check.
Ooh.
You got an extra D6 if you need it.
Ooh, okay. I decide to do it after?
You may.
Yes.
Okay, D6. 17.
Well, she looks up and goes, "It's all about the weather and how the mist feels, and I could help you. The problem is that if we rush it, I won't have total control over where we go. Are you needing just to get away from someone now?
Absolutely.
Is there somewhere in particular you're trying to go, or just anywhere but here?"
Perhaps more Vistani?
Well, I will see what I can do. Is it just you that are traveling?
Or if you have ever heard of a Lord Brunor? Was it Brunor?
Brunwald.
Brunwald.
Oh, I do know of his domain. Is that where you wish to go?
Absolutely.
I can only try. It takes time, and if you're rushed, I will do the best that I can. Is it just for you?
No, there's a coach coming with companions and horses.
It will be costly. It'll be... Do you have any gold pieces or platinum or...
We do. We have 3. Well, how much is it?
Well, how much do you have?
How much do you require?
For how many total persons will be traveling?
5 and 3 horses.
It would
A
be
stagecoach.
80 gold pieces.
Done.
Do you make the trade?
Sure.
Yes.
I have it on me.
Oh, thank you. So for 80 gold pieces, and you hand her over the coins that you got from those last travels, because these are very curious. I've not seen these in all my travels. And she kind of brings it together. Goes, "What is? Bring your cart behind mine, and as I get going, you try to keep up.
All right, we can do that.
No matter what you see, just stay close to mine, and you will travel with me. We will make a tunnel through the mist."
All right. Sounds good, thank you.
Okay.
I'll gallop back and tell everybody what the plan is.
So as you get closer, and you see this Vistani sitting in the cart, she opens the doors and she kind of pulls this little like seat up right at the front of the door that you see, and the long beams outside where you would normally connect to the horse, like the stirrups, whatever, it just magically just kind of lifts up, and you see like a phantom steed appear in front of the cart. As she begins to drive the cart, the phantom steed begins to pull off, and she begins heading down the path. She's picking up speed, and with that, I will need animal handling checks from the two of you to see if you can keep up with her.
Right.
Still, I may need some encouragement.
You've got this. You are a strong turtle.
Oh, yeah.
Darundal, you are able to keep up with the ever so quite soft hooves. Xiv, now that you've kind of driven it a good bit, 18 is good. You're able to keep up, and right behind this cart, as this happens, you see the mist create this wall in front. You hear her casting something. You hear an incantation in the front. Xiv, give me an Arcana check.
By the way, with an 18, I drift the Conestoga around the corner. I look over at this other lady, and I'm like, it's about family. Okay.
Do you live your life a quarter mile at a time?
Are you going
Quarter mile at a time.
Are you going to shoot your 2 green turtle shells out at her? Is that what's going?
That is a natural 20. You recognize the magic and it is an alternative way to cast a teleportation spell, is what she's doing. And you also know the components that she is using. You are able to quickly figure out what she is doing, and you think, given time, you could replicate it.
Can I call out to Estelle, write this down, and kind of relay that to her so that Baka could look at it later?
So
Yeah.
you start barking out, some of the components and things that you do. Estelle, you're quickly writing it. As that's happening, there's a distortion in the mist as it seems to be a sudden storm comes up. It's almost as if she is mixing a teleportation and a call lightning spells together to create this distortion in the mist that causes the mist to open. As that happens, there's electricity kind of kicking out and about.
Ooh!
Xiv, it dances and you see it, and you actually feel invigorated by the electricity as you begin to move through the portal. Now, as the mist opens up and you push through the portal, there is a darkness and wind. You also feel this is mainly for Darundal and Xiv that are on the outside. As that wind kicks up, you feel like thousands of pieces of like tiny like sand or rock or like just like blowing into you, and it's actually cutting into you as you kind of like pushing through whatever this storm is that you're pushing, that you're riding through as you go through the storm. As soon as that happens, there's a pause and a brief moment. The black dissipates immediately into this bright light that is blinding, as your pupils have to try to dilate back to the difference between going from this dark, brooding world to this bright world that you're in now. As that happens, Estelle, you're in the back, and everything is shaking. You're holding Baka down. You look over at Miriam, and as all of that electricity pulsates through, you see the mist grab Miriam and pull her back out of the cart, and she is not with you. She does not.
Can I grab her at all?
You go to grab her, and it's like you reach into the mist, and she's gone. She's not permitted to travel. You quickly figure out the mist said no to her traveling. So she's pulled back.
Okay.
As the light, your eyes change, you look out and you see dunes, you see ruins, you see this arid air as this storm is kicking up, and you see sand being pushed across the dunes. As the cart comes to, you feel the slog of the sand kicking in between the wheels as you are now pushed in, and you look out into this barren wasteland of a desert.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Darundal.
Have I?
Coarse and irritating. It's everywhere. I'm gonna go kill some younglings. No, I'll ask, is the Vistani still with us?
No.
Son of a... I guess I'll tell everybody to stop.
We can't go anywhere anyways. Where are we?
The cart pulls to the stop. The horses can still pull, but it's like pulling through the sand. But you look about and you just see this massive expanse. You see ruined statues in the distance, and in the far off distance you see what looks to be like some giant obelisk in the distance, some big pillar off into the distance. That's the farthest point that you can see. Behind you, you see a mountain range. And
wait, where's Miriam?
Miriam is no longer here.
She could not make it through the mist.
In fact,
Randall, your mother's not in the cart.
You look back and you see the cart was actually like torn open in the back, where she was snatched out of the cart.
I could not grab her. She was gone too fast.
Right.
She must have stayed. Will she be able to get away?
The mist
Do you
only
think she was
allows
seen
those.
released?
Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you for trying. I guess we got away. It's the one positive. Next is I have no clue where we are. Should we stop and get our bearings?
Are any of
Do
us
we-
good at assessing nature?
Yes.
All right,
Do,
so
like,
Darundal, what
survival?
would you like to do?
I guess I'm going to look around for any, try to spot any sort of civilization anywhere, or if everything's just ruins.
Give me a survival check. You do find some old tracks in the sand near you. It's hard to tell. You know it's old, it's not fresh, but it does head off into a direction across a dune.
Okay, I'll relay
Is it-
that.
Is it going to be impossible to drive these wagons here?
No,
Okay, so there's like hard
It's
packed
laborious.
ground in some area.
right. It's just going to take some time.
Okay.
Estelle, I think you should. I'm going to dismiss the disguise. I think you should be the one to drive the wagon, and I'll take the extra weight off. Between me and Baka, that's a lot to be pushing down into the sand.
You may also need to help push the cart along.
Yeah.
I'll
Alright.
supervise.
All right.
Durandal is supervising. I dig it.
Yes. I'm sitting on my high horse, supervising.
We do need to find somewhere to rest. We haven't had a rest in a long time. And
That
if
is a
we
good
are, if we're going to be up against something, we don't know what's around here. I don't know if we want to
There are
maybe
ru-
take turns resting while we move forward.
That's a good idea.
Do you want to ride around and see? Your horse can actually ride above the sand. So you can move at great speed across the dunes.
Okay. I'll want to find somewhere to rest, or do you want to take shifts resting in the wagon?
And Xiv, what do you think?
Well, depending on how well the wagon is moving, someone may be able to rest at a time. As long as we get, there's no telling how long this will take, so we should conserve energy.
We could do a short-ish rest, look around, gather and see if there's anything around, and then I'm not quite sure. We can all take a look around first and then assess our
That's a good
moving
idea.
forward.
One thing is for certain:
Stop. Go ahead.
sensible headgear is very needed here. We should all make a schmog. And I'm going to reach into the
The
cart and find something,
vocabulary of this barbarian is astounding.
and I'm going to
Okay.
fashion a schmog.
Okay, so you wrap it around your head,
Block the sand.
block the sand. It's easy to do. It's hanging off the bolts off of your neck. You know, as you kind of all right. So, all right. So, as you are creating headgear, Durandal, are you scouting about, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna admire Frankenspank's hanky, and then oh yeah, I'll crawl up. You said there's a statue.
There is a statue in the distance. Yeah, it's actually in the same direction those footprints are going.
I'm gonna steed up there really fast
Okay.
and climb it.
You see a ridge. There's like an outcropping, like a rock outcropping. You see what looks to be like the ruins of like a wall, and you see a fairly large statue. It's in ruin, but you see it there. And behind that, a smaller statue. You see what looks to be some type of a statue of an animal, smaller than the other statue. Looking at, they're kind of like facing each other. One is a large individual. And the other looks to be some type of animal, like a sphinx, looking at it.
Do they look like they're about to battle, or?
No, it looks like one is the Sphinx is bowing to the statue.
Okay.
But there are walls and things there that you could find, some type of cover from a storm or something.
Okay. I'll go back and relay. We have an option if we would like to rest.
We have not rested. We should.
We should. If there's a safe place to be able to park the wagon, it might be best for all of us to be at our peak strength, especially to protect Baka.
Found some ruins with a sphinx and a giant. Nothing should happen there. Let's go.
Absolutely
safe.
nothing.
Darundal, we will need
No.
water. I'm sure
Should I do a
Baka will be
nature?
thirsty.
Survival?
Yes.
Survival?
Mm-hmm.
If you need a little bit of extra encouragement. I mean, we're in a desert. It's not like we're relying on you or anything.
I'll take it, if you're giving. Well, never mind.
No, you don't need it.
You rolled a 19 plus 6 is 25 for your survival. As you are riding close, you do come across a strange plant. As you reach down, it's an arid plant that kind of pulls moisture out of the air itself. You've seen things like this closer to Zondale, so you're not 100% familiar with this plant, but you understand the idea of this. As you reach down, you break off part of the plant itself, and you actually can pull some liquid out of it. The best thing to do really is just to unearth the entire plant and take it with you, and then you can break off water off of it as a need. You would need a lot of these to sustain yourself, but at least it gives you a clue on how you could survive in this environment.
Okay. I'll take it back and let everybody get hydrated a little bit.
Okay. By basically, it's basically like a strange looking cactus, and as you kind of break it and you kind of squeeze it, you can pull water out of it. Everyone can get a little bit of a drink off of it. Xiv is totally fine; he doesn't require anything like that. But you two, and particularly, you're still trying to keep Baka, somewhat hydrated as he's still unconscious.
I imagine the heat is quite different here.
It is it's very humid. And it's dry, but it's still just it's unbearably hot. So it's not humid. I misspoke. It's dry and just really, really hot. But it's also it seems to be heading into night here, so maybe not as hot as it will be later.
All right.
If we can rest now, we can hopefully travel when it's still semi.
So are
cooler in the
you
morning.
gonna rest here out where you are? Are you gonna move to the ruins? Or are you gonna try to find somewhere else to go? What's the
I
plan?
think we
Ruins, I think.
Ruins.
The ruins, because
Okay.
it's
I think was the group
over. Yeah.
consensus. Yeah.
There's no cover per se. It's just that there's a large wall there that you could bear up
Right.
against. And you could kind of between the carriage that you have, and you could make a makeshift between the wall and the carriage. You can make some type of a survival hut if you needed to. So you pull the cart up to there. As you get closer, you see this large statue of this human. Adorned, it looks like he's holding this golden staff, and he's looking over and he's looking down at this large sphinx that is basically bowing down to it as he's looking over it. There's also between those two there is a circular a podium between the two that's probably 12 feet in a 12-foot radius, so it's fairly large. 12-foot diameter. 12-foot diameter. That you're looking at, and as you see that there's some runes etched around on the outside of that circular.
Do I see this?
You do.
Said it's a
Fine.
bowl?
It's not a bowl. It's like a circular indentation between the two, and it has a stoned rock outcropping around it that has runes written in it.
Ziv, I'm going to take a look at these. I don't know if you or Darundal can read these runes, but maybe I'll give a try and see
I'll go over there after you. I'll stay with Baka.
So
Okay.
you two are just pulling up the wagon. You kind
Oh,
of
okay.
park it
So
up.
we can both look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You pull up the wagon next to the wall, and you're kind of like making camp. You're able to basically connect disattach the top of the canvas and like pull it over and attach it to the wall to kind of give you some type of covering between the wagon and the wall. As you were working on that, Estelle, you're going out to look at this outcropping with the runes on it. How is there any way that you just want to look at it, or do you have anything to help you read it?
I could inspire myself would probably be the only thing I think I could do.
You can try.
I'll Arcana check it and see.
It does not seem to be magical.
I can, if I can inspire myself, if that's okay. Is that something bards can do?
I don't know if you can inspire yourself.
You can do it to me, and I can still use a knowledge of the past life and double up.
Okay.
That you could do.
But what are we rolling here? Is this going to be history?
History.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled Arcana.
Well, you were checking to see if this was magical, and it is not.
Okay.
Not that you can tell.
Okay. So
Okay, Xiv, we're depending on you.
So that's a 4 plus 2 plus 4
4.
plus
It's pretty good.
3.
3.
So what's the total here? 8, 11, 13?
7 plus 6, yeah.
Okay. You can't make out all of it. You do pick out these words. It says something about... You don't know what the word is. It's either worship or hail. It's some type of word for exaltation. But you do pick out the words God, Pharaoh, Ankh, Tephot.
God.
Ankhtepot.
Wasn't writing that down, but God.
Ankhttepot.
N-K. T-E-P-O-T. God. Fail. Okay.
God, Pharaoh.
Trevor, do I feel the presence of my friend any longer?
No. Not, but that comes and goes.
Estelle, do you sense any spirits nearby?
I can certainly take a moment and...
What does that look like when you try to sense the spirits? Are you just looking around, or are you just...
I would probably close my eyes, to be honest. It would probably be like a closing your eyes and sensing and feeling what's going on, and like almost an out of body, as if my spirit can take a moment back and take a look around, as if to put itself within the spirit world.
You do that, and what is very interesting here is that nowhere around here do you sense any spirits. Now, you are in a barren wasteland, but you don't sense any spirits close to you at all. So, I mean, it's just interesting, but normally you sense something.
For the first time, Xiv, in a very long time, I don't sense anything. This is quite unsettling, to be honest. It's like learning how to do something and then completely forgetting.
I almost wonder if we were better off fighting the caravan behind us. Well, the good news is, I kind of picked up a little bit on what she was doing. With Baka's help, I think we could do it ourselves.
What Miriam was doing? Or what,
Adeline, or...
The Vistani.
Yeah, the
the
Vistani
carriage
lady.
lady.
Yes. It made sense when she was casting the spell.
In fact, the broken Tesla coil you carry is actually a component you would need on the side of the card. You've got to be able to harness the lightning.
I think we could do this.
And we need to rest to be able to find.
We just need to survive until
what did
Baka
we
is
need
well.
for you? What did we need for your spell to be able to?
Copper wire.
Oh, well, we're definitely not converting that around here.
Maybe some inlays on some of these structures. I'm gonna look at the statue and see if there's any, like, is it just stone? Or is it like stone with like jewels? Or is it stone with metal?
It's just stone. It's very ornately cut stone. But it also looks like it's been here for a long time. It's very worn.
Can we there's no actual ruins anywhere around us?
In the distance, you see an obelisk, but it is very far away.
Not in the direction we were going either, right?
You don't really know. I mean, you've kind of lost your bearing. You just basically arrived, and then you found this off to the right. You went there. This is further, and it's hard to even tell what direction you're going. It's just that way.
We have so many problems. I think our first should be to get some rest so that all of us are refreshed.
As
agree.
this conversation is happening between Estelle and Xiv, Darundal, what are you doing?
I guess I'll just kind of look around the immediate area and see if I can find any more of that cactus.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
Definitely going to need it.
21. As you move outside this area, you notice that what you're on is hard rock. There is sand on the rock, but it is you feel the rock under it, okay? As you go around the outside, you notice that what is creating this wall, or it's like it's outcropping that you're sitting on top of, is carved on the inside of that. Is very loose, and something like has burrowed through it, very large. Something lives in the sand here.
By very large, what is the dimensions they're looking at?
Well, you're on a 10-foot outcropping that it carved through. So it's at least 10 feet wide.
Small.
Huh?
That's what you're saying.
It's
Small is
small.
what you're saying.
Small.
Yes. We've entered into Dune. This is good. Great.
Great.
Right. I'll come back and relay that. Something large. Does the burrowing look recent? Like, are there signs of it being recent?
No, it does not
Okay.
look recent. You just, as you go by, you just saw that it's got something on the outside. Whatever it is, you can see that it's actually cutting through the rock. You can see like the burrowing, like there's like these points that kind of cut into the rock as it moved across. It looks old and worn. The sand is kind of like, as it's blown through, has filled that up. But there's some type of a uniform as it cut through. It just lets you know that it's not here, it's not recent, but it does exist.
Okay. I'll bring
All right.
back whatever cactus.
So let's move. So you bring some cactus back as you've kind of prepared camp. At this point, this party has a pretty cool thing they can do that Xiv doesn't need to sleep. He just goes into sentry mode. And basically, I let you just kind of walk around resting, but in sentry mode. So as the others rest and get their sleep in, and I believe, Durandal, you need a full 8 hours, or you 4? I can't remember.
I think it's 8, but I'm going to burrow out a place and sleep underground. I don't
Okay.
have to breathe.
That's right. So you actually can just burrow into the sand, sleep in the sand. Okay. All right. So as you bury yourself in the earth, which feels very comfortable to you and homely, as you just kind of bury yourself into the sand, Estelle, you are looking around at your strange friend who has buried himself in the sand. Your unconscious Baka, your traveling companion, is still like laid out next to the small campfire that you've built, and you have this big monstrosity walking around the camp. You keep strange company. Just kind of dawned on you.
I keep strange company, and also I feel utterly alone because for the first time in years I can't hear spirits.
You can't hear spirits, right?
I'm gonna
Ziv,
sit on the wall. I'm gonna sit on the wall so I can see around.
you sit on the wall. In the distance, as the darkness has come, you've kind of lost sight of where the obelisk is. You just know the direction, but you can't see it anymore. Several hours into night, you look and you see what looks to be a very thin pinpoint light on the top of that obelisk that every now and then it strobes. And you can't quite figure out, there's not a rhythm to it, but every now and then you'll see this little pinprick of a light hit off in the distance of that obelisk that you can't see it, but you see that thin light. You don't see any stars in the sky as the dune sea just kind of blows it. There's just like this constant wind of this arid air that flies over. You don't see anything else. The only thing that you really can see around you is the campfire flickering off, and it is cascading some light off of the statue itself. But as you're sitting there, make an Arcana check.
$16.
You sense the presence of magic in the area. There's a little off the side of your neck. It's just kind of like, you sense something magical in the area.
I don't have my magic awareness until after the long rest, but I will make note of it.
Okay.
And look around.
Okay. All right, so you just basically look around and you just sense it here and there, but there's something magical, almost hiding about, and it's faint, but you sense that it's something about this place is magical. But you make.
Well,
Can I
try to like inspect around? I mean, I got nothing else to do but stand around while
you got
everybody's
8
sleeping.
hours, right? I will give you this. Over the next several hours, everyone else is resting, and you kind of pinpoint at the foot of this giant statue, there's something magical just in front of its feet, buried in the sand.
It's me.
It's Darundal. He's asleep.
I wave the sand and I uncover his face and he goes, "Hello!"
Hello there.
All right, I'm gonna go. It's not far from them, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'll wander over and prod with the Tesla coil and kick at it with my foot.
You move sand, and as you move sand, you sense that there is something there. Like you're getting closer to it. It's gonna require a little bit of unearthing.
I got time.
All right, so you just
my hands are shovels.
You just. This is true. You just shovel and shovel and shovel until you hit something solid buried in the earth, in the sand itself. You uncover a fairly ornate box.
I collect these.
You do.
I'll lift it up out of the ground.
You lift it up out of the ground.
Is it a coffin? Is it a coffin?
I'll take it back over to the camp, and I'll wait till everybody's awake.
All right, it's about 2 feet long and about 6 inches wide.
I'll leave it resting and wait till my friends to awake.
Lord?
How is it deep? Is it a deep box, a skinny box, a flat piece of wood?
It's okay. Full dimensions. It's 2 feet long,
Okay.
6 inches wide, and about 4 to 6 inches tall.
It's a rose. It's a bouquet of roses.
It's a bouquet of roses.
It could be anything.
Long stem.
It could be a
Whatever
long
color
stem.
roses
It's
you've
a
got there.
desert rose.
All right. With that, morning comes. Everyone is rested. We have officially had a long rest. Mercifully, the DM finally gave you guys a long rest.
Thank
All right,
you.
I'm checking
had
some of this stuff.
no spell slots left. Like, if we came across anything, I was screwed.
Estelle was down to just compliments. Harsh language. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you, DM.
Sure.
That sure makes me feel real safe.
I'm gonna go, guys, I found something.
So, Durandal, you hear that? You just emerge out of the sand.
Sand and eyebrows.
As the sand just pours off your face.
Can I look at him and press a digitation the sand away?
You can. You prestidigitation the sand away. He shakes it off. A gentle nod of thank you.
No one likes sand everywhere that it doesn't need to be.
Very true. I could write a whole dissertation on that. And with that, Durandal, what are you gonna do?
Gonna look at them and say, I've lost my mother. Xiv has lost his spirit wife. Ellie has lost her spirits. Our pets' heads are falling off. No, I think, do I see this box?
You do.
Is this what you unearthed, Xiv?
Yes, I haven't opened it yet because I
You
wanted
did
you to see it at the same time.
I mean, but also you don't know what's inside that box, so.
No, I don't.
The box made of.
It is a stone carved box.
Shall we open it?
Have we done any checks on it?
It's
No.
magical. That's all I know.
Ward's magical? Like something's going to curse us? Like
What's carved on it?
we've got one unconscious friend. I don't think we need another.
Similar runes that you see on the outside of the outcropping.
Xiv, do you want to read?
Let's try again.
Xiv, we really need you to succeed on this one.
I'm trying my best. Okay, 5.
That's a definite negative.
Hang on. Hold on.
Oh,
Nope.
The only word that you pick out of these runes are 3 words that you recognize before you recognize the script is God Pharaoh Ankh Tepat.
What if we put that box inside the circle if the words match?
I'm game.
Or were they buried away from each other for a reason?
Sounds like a terrible idea. Let's
as
try
the
it.
DM coyly takes a drink of water. Chat says open the box.
I think so.
Um,
What's in the box?
What's in a box?
Well,
and I'm no help with the history. Okay.
No has the upper hand. Let's
I'm
put
just
it
gonna-
in a circle.
I'm just gonna
DM's
pick it
got
up.
the upper hand, and I don't like this.
I'm gonna pick it up, take it over to the circle.
You pick it up.
Oh no! I can do something now that I have spell slots
Oh,
back.
wait.
Can
How
I
much
touch?
does it weigh?
What?
How much does it weigh?
It's
Box.
fair. It's not terribly heavy. It's heavy because it's a stone box.
And how much?
80 pounds.
What are you asking? What are you asking?
I mage handed into the circle.
No.
Wait,
Hang on.
wait.
Wait,
It
wait.
still has something.
That's what Ellie said.
I can cast Identify.
On the box is not magical.
But you said it's. Ziv said it's magical.
Something about is magical. The box itself is not magical.
Oh, I was under the assumption that I was the box that was magical. This is why I was like, don't open it.
Should I take a peek?
Yes.
Stepping back.
Steps back as well.
Does it slide or does it have a hinge? How does it open?
It just opens. You
Okay.
basically you just like pull off the top.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? And I'll open it up.
All right. So you open up the box. Inside, you find 3 things. The first thing that you notice is a golden scepter. You also see 2 sitting beside it. You see 2 silver statues of sphinxes that look similar to the one that's bowing down over here. And laid out on the top of it in some type of like almost like a velvet bag, like sash or whatever. You see 5 black stones that seem to be very ornate.
5?
5.
Do they look like that one black stone we found before?
No, these
Okay.
look more like gemstones. These are
Okay.
you actually know these are onyx. Where before the star metal is more of like a meteorite.
Gotcha.
So 5
I'd say the
onyx.
scepter I would identify.
I'm going to look at the scepter that we just found and look at the statue and see if they look similar.
It is not exactly the same, but it is the same artistic. You see, it's
Okay.
the same style. Like
Okay.
it has like the hook on the end of it.
Mm.
Estelle, can you identify this scepter? I don't want to touch it.
Should we just Arcana check it first? Check the box, see if anything's magical inside. You said that it was, but which item I think would be a good check.
I can use magical awareness.
We could also just yes, absolutely. You've got this, Xiv. If you need an extra D6, you have 10 minutes.
I guess I'll do an Arcana check on it.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh,
I'll use
Xiv.
magical awareness.
Okay.
I just
Come
light up my
on.
eyes.
Your eyes light up, and what you see is that the scepter itself is magical. It is radiating magic, quite powerful magic, actually. Nothing else in the box is magical other than the scepter.
We need to identify the scepter. Nothing else is magical.
I will. Do I have to touch the scepter to identify it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there goes nothing, and I will identify the.
Is that a ritual? It takes time to do that.
1 minute, and it's
Oh.
a touch.
1 minute. Okay. So you spend a minute holding this scepter. As you do that, Xiv, you reach down. You go to grab the statues. Your hand burns and you recoil. It is made of some type of metal you're not happy with.
I think
Silver.
those are silver.
So you have 2 silver statues and you have 5 onyx. After a minute passes, you hear a small voice in your ear, Estelle, and it says, "With this wand, you can summon the wonder of Octopop." It is a wand of wonder.
Okay.
And for
Would
the,
it-
Does
and because someone rolled a 99 in Discord, that is why we have that. So, shout out to Ghost for rolling a 99 in Discord on our
Yeah.
chat.
Wow.
I don't know what that means. Google.
Would any of us know what a wand of wonder does?
Estelle does now because she identified it.
Can I read it out loud? Because
You
I would
may.
know.
You may.
You may be reading for a while.
This wand of wonder. This wand has 7 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend one of its charges and choose a target with 120 feet of you. The target can be a creature, an object, or a point in space. Roll 1d100 and consult the following table to discover what happens. If the effect causes you to cast a spell from the wand, the spell save is DC 15.
It does a lot of random things.
There's a lot, but let me give you a couple of ones. Cast lightning bolt. Okay. One of them is you are stunned until the start of your next round, believing something awesome just happened.
I found what I really like. An animal appears in an unoccupied spot. The animal isn't under your control and acts as it normally would. Roll a 1d100. This could be a rhino, an elephant, a rat, or something from the monster manual.
Yes. The wand of wonder is quite hilarious, and it was legit rolled on a random chart, so we'll have fun with that. So,
A cloud of 600 oversized butterflies fills a 30-foot radius.
yeah, that's useful. All right, so you pulled out the Wand of Wonder. Estelle seems quite happy with her find.
I like the cloud of butterflies.
Yes, you can also turn someone blue with it.
This is the best.
Permanently?
All right.
It's called the Chaos Wand. I'm
It
renaming
is.
this the Chaos Wand.
Wand of Mari. All right. And so we spent some time in the morning. You going through some provisions. Now Miriam's bag is still here, even though she's not. She did pack some food. She did pack a few bottles and mixtures and tinctures and things in there that you're not 100% sure what they are. But you do have her satchel. In that, you also found some water and some provisions. So you're able to ration out a meal this morning for those of you that want to have food. Xiv could live in this place indefinitely without any problem. Really is the perfect character to be in this environment. Not having to worry about that.
I'm
Now,
going to take the stones, by the way. I like them. They look pretty.
stones.
The onyx stones.
Oh, the
in
onyx
box.
stones. Okay, you pull out the onyx stones. And I guess that means that Durandal gets the 2 silver statues.
Well,
That's fine.
I can't touch them.
Right.
I chase him around the camp with him and like
Right.
a reflex save, Wes. That's gotta jab him with it.
Now, as everyone is divvying all these things up, Durandal, make a perception check. You notice that the sands beneath you shift ever so slightly, and you look about, and as Estelle is kind of dancing around the camp enjoying the fact that she has her new wand, and you look over at Xiv looking at his new shiny rocks, you look about and notice that the sand is moving about, and you almost is sense that the statue is shaking in front of you, ever so slightly.
Right. The sand stirs. The statue shakes. Just thought I'd say that.
I don't know.
I'm going to get to some rock.
Okay, so as
The carriage is on sand?
yes, it's on rock.
Okay. I was like,
Everything here is
this
like
gonna start
everything is sand rock.
sinking?
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was going to
Sand
start
on
sinking
top of
into
rock.
the...
right. And I believe, where is Baka? Is Baka still in the, or is he next to the fire?
He would be inside the...
You left him in.
Yeah. 'cause
Out
I
of the
would've-
elements.
Yeah,
I
out
would
of
have
the.
stayed with him out of the elements.
Okay. All right. So he's in the cart then. Okay. All right. So as Xiv, you go for the rock. As Durandal, you're looking about, and Estelle, you kind of see what's happening, and you kind of start making your way towards Baka. Durandal, you notice that a small part of the sand in the distance begins to slowly move, and you see that something is burrowing, tunneling under the sand, and it seems to be moving towards you.
Okay. I'm going to run up the statue on top of it.
All right, you break for the statue, and we need to pause. All right.
I mean, I like this music, but
Yeah, we need the music, right?
this is great.
All right. As Durandal, as you run, you look over your shoulder. You see this thing burst out of the sand, and what you see is like this these giant razors come out, and this head pop out with these large fangs, and you see it has these like razor legs as it runs across these 4 or 5 different legs kind of moving across these kind of thrashing outside of the sand, and is moving towards you.
You've just traumatized Ellie. It's not much better
More
than
spider-like things. It only has 6 legs, so it's not technically a spider, but like
It's not a
Listen.
spider. It's not a spider.
Spider adjacent.
And there's 4 of them popping out and about. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter initiative. I'm going to add turn. Yes, they look like the bugs from Starship Troopers. Very good.
Exactly.
It's going to go Xiv, and then Estelle, and then Darundal, and then whatever these things are.
Why is one of them bigger than all the others?
One is quite larger than the other ones.
That one's mine.
Okay, so did they just look like bugs, or did they look like they have hard shells?
They do look like they have some type of tough carapace about them. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It's not like metal or anything. Like they're not
Doesn't
like the
look like metal.
the creepy metal things from Skyrim or anything like that.
No, they've got like a hard shell on the back, large mouth, and stabby legs.
Am I up?
Xiv, you're up.
I'm going to charge between the 2 of these without provoking an attack of opportunity, kind of like here,
Okay.
like in between there. I want to try to jump off this thing and come down on and attack this thing.
Give me an athletics
Basically-
check. You want to rage?
I'm raging.
All right, so first you rage. Now, a couple things happen. First, before you do all of that, you go into a rage.
I gotta roll my...
You need to roll and see what wild magic happens.
I think I found that here the other day, and I'm trying to find where the... here we go. Okay, D8. Shadowy tendrils lash out around you, electrical tendrils. Each
Nice.
creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw of 1d12. Oh no, succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 necrotic damage. You also gain 1d12 temporary hit points.
Yes.
So basically everything.
Everything has to. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a roll for here. And what's the save I got to make?
DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus. So
Okay, he passes.
what is my proficiency bonus right now?
It's middle of the first page.
It should be 3, I think, at this point. So 11, maybe.
Mine's 2.
2?
So-
Okay, so 2 is fine. I didn't know if
We're
we're
supposed to be level 4 or level 5?
We're 4.
We're level
We're
4,
4.
right?
All right, so it's 10 is the save. 1, 2, 3. All okay. So the 3 small ones pass, and the big one is it a Constitution save?
Mm-hmm.
They all pass that, but you're still flinging these things all around. They all pass. Make your athletics check. This is basically to dodge getting an attack of opportunity. I'm giving you kind of
roll your
the cinematic.
roll your extra 8.
Oh yeah, I think that happens regardless. 1d12. I have an extra 2 hit points.
There you go. All right, now make your athletics check with advantage. I'm basically letting you like run and parkour off the side of this to avoid getting attacks of opportunity. Which you do without a problem. You run. You basically put 1 foot on the side of the Sphinx. You push off. As you push off, you crack the side of the Sphinx like its arm. As you lift off, you bring your giant 2-handed Tesla coil broken off, and you bring it to slam down on top of the big one. So now make your attack. So you avoided all of the attacks of opportunity. You have now engaged the big one.
I'm going to reckless attack.
Yes, you are.
That's like a 20.
It does hit, but go ahead and roll your next attack to see if you crit. Because don't you get an advantage? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you do land your attack. Roll some damage.
So right now it's 2d6 plus 2d6 plus 5 plus 2 when I'm raging. Isn't
Right,
it
so 7.
damage plus
Yeah,
2?
so 2d6 plus 7. That's a lot of damage. So 5 plus 2, so 12 total damage.
Yeah, crack it.
You hit the side of it. You see part of its carapace actually crack under the weight of the giant maul as you just pop the side of it. You land in this explosion of sand as you hear it kind of roar and kind of pick up its legs and it's kind of roaring at you. You've definitely taunted it. It's very mad at you now. Estelle, it is your turn.
Okay. As a bonus action, I would like to cast Hex onto the big. No, I'll cast it onto one of the smaller ones. I'll go at this one that's furthest away, closest to me.
Okay.
And I will cast Hex on him.
Okay.
Do.
It has been hexed.
I think that's the. I'm just trying to mark it off on my sheet, and then I will pistol.
All right, so you pull out one of your dueling pistols. You cast Hex, and you fire your weapon at it. So make your dex attack with your pistol as the crack sound of the pistol breaks off. Is 12 total. So you rolled a 6 plus 6 is 12. You miss. You don't miss. It just ricochets off the side of its carapace.
Boo.
But it is hexed, and you quickly reload your weapon. Because she now has the gunner feat. So you cast Hex, you take the shot, and you quickly just pop another slug in it, and it's seamless.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. With that, Darundal, it is your turn.
Right. On top of this.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I'm gonna shoot at this one here.
Okay.
With my bow.
You will have advantage since you have the high ground.
There we go.
As you run up your Dampier spider climb, as you run up the side of the statue, you loose an arrow. Roll with advantage.
Go. Shift, didn't it? Yeah, there we go.
You roll an 18. That will hit. It does 4 points of damage. You do put the arrow directly into the side of it. It kind of screams. Now, does it take? It doesn't take hex damage when he damage. It's just when you damage it, correct?
Just when I damage.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to make that my favorite foe.
Okay.
And that's going to do a D4.
Okay.
Yeah, double that damage.
My bats are going to hit it. Bats.
Okay. All right. So you shoot the arrow. The arrow sticks into him. The bats go and start attacking. All these spectral bats explode out of you. As it begins to attack it, it kind of screams in pain as the bats rip the wound that you opened up, and you see the bats actually tear the flesh of the monster open. It falls down to the ground, dead from the bats.
Yes.
GG's.
Right. Toast.
All right.
I love the X.
Yeah, it lets you know you're doing something. Like you've made some progress. All right, and with that, this one here is going to run up behind Xiv. He is flanking it, and he is going to make a stab.
They've all got advantage anyway.
Well, this is true. I'm guessing that 22 hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, 9 points of damage. We're down to 8, so you'll take 4 since you're raging. And now the really big guy is also going to attack you. Actually, he brings his arms up. He's going to shift to the side here, and he's going to let loose his mouth gets really open, and he just starts vomiting this acid out that sprays over you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
What did I tell you? Big things. spit acid in the desert.
12.
You are covered, and you're going to take some acid damage. And this is not something you can save. I'm just kidding on the damage. Those are d20s.
I was like, so he's dead.
Sorry, I rolled it. It's 23 damage.
No reduction on that.
No reduction on the acid. It just burns all of it. Your hat that you had fashioned just melts off of your face from the acid.
What was it, 23?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now this one is going to make a break and run up and try to get to Darundal. It can. It's going to run up and make a leaping attack at you. Let's see what we got. Does a 14 hit? Oh, I'm sorry, 19. 19 is going to hit you. Take 7 points of damage. It runs up, it takes its giant claw and stabs at you.
Wes really didn't like all that damage.
He disconnected at that. He's wearing an acid green shirt. So it was like he knew it was coming. He knew it was coming. All right. So this other thing runs up the side of the statue. It pulls up this giant leg. It stabs. It actually cuts the side of your own leg, Darundal. So now you're engaged. This thing is basically like clawing onto the side of this thing as well, slashing at it. Now with that, we go to the top. It is now Xiv's turn.
Extremely angry.
You're so angry.
Rawr.
Do you still get to use your tendrils?
No, it's a one-time thing.
Okay.
How big is this thing?
It is 15 feet tall.
Okay.
Ish.
It's completely out of the sand, though, right?
Yes.
Now, did it rear back, or is it still on its front legs?
It reared back. What are you trying to do?
So it's up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge at it and try to knock it over.
Okay, you're gonna try to grapple it to the ground?
I'm gonna try to flip it onto its back.
Okay, it's a grapple check. You get to make an athletics check that's going to be opposed, but you do get advantage on it just to see if you can grapple it to the ground.
And since it is an athletics check, I can use knowledge from a past life.
Yes, you can. Because in your past life, you were a pro wrestler.
Alright, that's plus 7.
Okay.
Actually, it's plus...
You
do I have advantage?
You get advantage, yeah, because you're raging.
Okay, so 19...
23.
23...
You run up, you take your Tesla coil, you kind of like push up against it, it falls back on its back, and you just tackle it, and you've wrestled it to the ground. It is now grappled. And with
that's all I can do, right?
Unless you want to do something with your bonus action.
I can't attack with a bonus action, so...
Okay. So Xiv has tackled the giant thing, and now it is Estelle's turn, who has just reloaded her pistol.
Yes. I'm going to do something a little bit reckless. I'm going to run up to Xiv while he's grappling the creature and cast Cure Wounds at a 2nd level.
Wow, okay.
Seeing as he took half. So that's 15 points back to you.
Ooh,
what does that look like when you cast your healing spell?
I imagine it's something like trying to reach out to the... Oh no, it's the deck. It's the deck. It's the deck.
It's the deck. It's the deck.
It's the deck.
I've got a prop. You just go up and you just slap that card.
Yes. So I would imagine it would be a slap to the deck, and the card actually comes around in a cloud. Let's say a heart. Let's just be as cheesy as heck.
That's the power of love.
You can tell she's been playing a lot of Chrono Trigger, so she's got the
Yes.
Okay.
Goes into a heart of healing.
You heal
and
15.
gives-
Now you still have your bonus action. Do you want to move the hex?
Yes, please. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Hex
who-
onto the big creature, please.
Hex, the big creature is Hex. So you tackle it. Ziv tackles it. Estelle runs up, heals you, and moves the Hex over to the big creature. And now it is Durandal's turn.
Right.
Take
This one's
that-
on me.
Take that straggler out and that one that's on you.
Alright, I'm gonna if I like run off, he'll get an attack of opportunity.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just gonna shoot him then.
Okay. So he's point blank. You take a shot. Don't you get disadvantage if you attack him if it's like right in front of you?
No, if I do, I will melee. I will melee. I'll just melee.
All right. So you drop the bow. You pull out both of your swords and go at it.
Yeah. Right.
I'll let you do that as a free action. All right, so first attack is a 19 with your short sword. That's going to hit for 7 points of damage. The 15 will not hit.
Okay.
But he did do 7 points of damage.
Bats.
All right,
Are
and
also
now
gonna
you pull the bats in to attack it as well. And
Oops.
the bats kill it. All right, so you miss with the gladius. You come back in with your own short sword. You stab it, and then as soon as you pull it out, the bats, seeing where you attack, go and basically attack that part of the carapace that you cracked open and push it to the ground. And the bats are just tearing at it and feeding at the monster on the ground. So that was your action, your bonus action with the 2 attacks.
Yeah.
All right, and now this little one here is going to run up and try to stab Estelle. With an 18, it reaches up and it slashes you in the back for 6. You feel this just giant slice on your back as it kind of cuts across. I guess what kind of armor are you wearing again? Is it leather?
Leather, studded leather.
Studded
yeah.
leather. You feel it like cut across the back of your studded leather, and as you feel just like your skin getting ripped across on the back. And with that, the big one is going to attempt to get out of the grapple. It is an opposed check. So I need Ziv to give me a athletics check with advantage because you're raging.
Oh no! Oh, wait, with
Thank
advantage.
goodness
With
it's with
advantage.
advantage. Well, that's much better.
He is not able to get out of the grapple.
Maybe if we can tame it, we can ride it.
So what it will do, since it's trying to get out, it will take its spike tail and try to stab you with its spike tail.
Good. I need to take damage anyway.
He misses.
Oh.
All
Stab
right,
him, Ellie.
I'll stab him.
Shoot him.
top of the round. It is now Ziv's turn. Now, Ziv, you did not deal damage, nor did you take damage.
So the acid didn't deal residual damage.
No residual damage from the acid. No. So you are now. Hold
Okay.
up, I do need to roll something really quick.
No, Trevor. No, you don't need to roll anything in the
son of a-
background. No, you do not. No.
We
You
gotta take this
hear
thing
you
down.
hear the large bees kind of like collecting something, some phlegm in its throat on that turn. And with that, Ziv, it is your turn.
I'm going to rage again.
Oh, now that you're raging again, you get to roll again on your chart.
Mhm.
What random magic will you pull as you go into your second rage?
I got to find the thing. This chart kills me.
Ooh, it's the top. What's the best one? Right now, it's not really that way, but
A bolt of light shoots from your chest. Another creature of your choice you can see within 30 feet must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, take 1d6 radiant damage, and be blinded until the start of your next turn.
Heck yes!
Bolt of lightning.
I rolled a 20 for my con save.
Of course.
Eh.
I am now
Believe
going
you.
to take the Tesla coil and hit it in the throat.
Okay, so you let go of your grapple and you bring that down.
I'm still on top of it.
Right. So you get advantage.
So I'm gonna try to. I know it's about to try to breathe acid again.
You're gonna try to hit it in the throat. Got it. A 19. Do go ahead and roll again in case you get the big one. I saw it for a second. All right, so you rolled a 19 plus your bonuses. You bring it down. You will hit the throat of this thing. Roll your 2d6 plus 7 damage. So 7 plus 7 is going to be 14 damage, plus the 12-yard is going to be 26 total damage that this thing has taken. All right, so that's your bonus action. That's your attack. You hit the Caribous. The under armor is softer. It cracks and breaks away from its throat as you're wailing on it. Estelle?
I'm now. Hang on, still have a
Zip.
move.
Okay.
I'm now afraid that this will hit me and Ellie, so I'm gonna roll to the side.
Okay. You're just shifting around. You're not gonna lose. You're not getting an attack of opportunities. You just basically just shift around the other side of it.
I don't want to put us both in the line of fire.
And in one move, you're able to hit it and kind of pull it around to the other side to kind of. I see what you're doing. He knows how to tank. He's tanked in MMOs. He's getting the boss to face away from the party. I know what he's doing. I've seen him do it.
You don't put cleave on your party.
You don't put cleave on your party, right? We're putting some WoW tactics in here. All right, Estelle, it is your turn.
He's not grappled anymore, right?
No.
It changes my...
You are flanking.
I don't think he'll come after you.
No, I was going to use a spell, but it moves away from me if I use it.
It's still on the ground, though. It hasn't gotten up. It's not
and Estelle, both of your pistols are loaded.
Get this thing off of you.
Are.
Get this little one off of you.
Okay. Well, then I will shoot at the guy in front of me.
Okay. So take your shot.
And then potentially shoot the other one if it doesn't get him.
All right. 16. You shoot it right in the head. Its head explodes as the bullet pierces its skull. It falls to the ground. With the smoke still coming out of your dueling pistol, you look over and your other offhand pistol is ready. So you've already killed that one.
Doesn't she have advantage? I think it's prone and I'm on the other side.
You do get advantage, so the 9 can be rerolled. So the 16 killed the other one. Is that a natural?
Oh! That is a natty and it's hexed.
No, it's a 14 plus 6.
Oh.
It's 20. It's not a natty.
This thing is deceiving. And
it is deceiving. It says 20, but if you hover, it says 14 plus 6.
It has to be green, I think, for it to be.
It'll be green. All right. You do still hit it for 6 points of damage, and you also get your hex damage on top of it.
Yeah. Which is a 5, so that's 11 damage.
11 damage to the back. All right, so that's 37. Now, you quickly reload your main hand pistol, but not your offhand pistol. So you can stow that one, but you still have your main hand pistol as Estelle, the gunner, is running around just mowing people down. Darundal, it is your turn. Still with the high ground.
All right, so advantage? I don't know.
Yes. All right, so you're dropping the weapons. You pull out your longbow. You shoot. That's 18 plus 7 is 25. You shoot the arrow for 7 points of damage. Is it your favorite foe?
It is my favorite foe. And
Okay.
that's going to be extra D4.
All right. So 11 and then bats. Another 4. So that's going to be 11. That is 15 total damage from the arrow, bringing that up to 52 points of damage. As that arrow goes through, you see it break out. You actually see a lot of its blood seeping out, which seems to be acidic. As the blood drips out, it's burning the sand itself. But it is basically spewing all type of acidic blood at this point. That's an old 4th edition way of saying it's bloodied. And with that, we will go to its turn. Actually, I can delete one of... We don't have any minions anymore. It's just the big one. It's going to reach back with its breath weapon and try to puke acid all over Xiv. So Xiv, make a dexterity saving throw. Are you still inspired?
I think he is. because I did inspire him right before the battle. So
That's a
D6.
15.
15 will make it, so you will only take half damage.
Okay.
So you don't have to burn
So
it.
you can save that for.
So you take
Or
half
reroll.
of 23. We'll say it's 22. So take 11 points of acid damage. Is it
My
just
coat looks terrible.
Is it just melts all
I'll
over?
fix that later.
The red plumage off of your Centurion helmet has just completely melted off. But you're just basically just getting bathed in acid. It's just dripping all over you. It's just vomiting this acid all over you. And with that, Xiv, it is your turn. Fortunately, you're still raging because you took so much damage. You're just really mad now.
Well, first he's going to make a DC 10 con.
Okay.
Crying.
Okay, Dan.
He failed.
He is blinded. He just got shot for 1d6 of lightning in his eye.
Where does that lightning come from? Is it like the Iron Man chest shot? What is that?
It comes from the Tesla coil.
Oh, yes. It comes from the Tesla coil.
Now I'm going to attack it.
All right, so you shoot the light. So lightning comes out of the Tesla coil. It blinds it. You run in to attack it. Go for it.
I'm going to try to chop its little pointy feet off. I'm going to sweep it. I'm sweeping the leg, Johnny.
Sweep the knee. Sweep the knee. 17 will hit. Well, it's 17 plus your bonus.
Plus 7.
Plus 7, so 24 will hit. All right, roll your damage. So it's going to be 6 plus 7 is 13. So you were up to 69. Nice. All right. Nice. And Xiv, that is your turn. Estelle is your turn. You've just finished reloading your pistol. What are you going to do?
Let's cast Dissonant Whispers on this. So it is a Wisdom 15 save.
I rolled an 18. Pass.
On a failed save, it takes 3d6 physical damage. It must be failed save, passed save. What does it say? On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage.
So half of 3d6.
So cast.
Psychic damage?
One
It's
says physical, one says
six.
psychic, but
So I take 3 damage.
oh, plus a hex though.
That's
'Cause
true.
I hit it.
You did.
Plus
So
5,
77.
so 8.
That's okay. That's not bad. All right. Are you gonna move, or you stay right where you're at?
I'll stay where I'm at.
Are you just like Gambit throwing the cards at him, like dissonant whispers?
Back in the deck.
Just smack in the deck. I like it. All right.
Oh, I still have a bonus action, right?
You do.
I will healing word myself.
Okay.
Which is 6, which is perfect.
Okay. So you heal yourself up. So you just completely negate that whole thing that happened as you
Yeah.
cast healing word. All right, Darundal, it is your turn.
All right. Want to shoot?
Again with advantage because you have the high ground.
Actually, I'm going to bonus action cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay.
And then I'm going to
Okay.
hit.
All right, yeah. So you rolled a 24 and an 18. The 24 will hit. It's 17 plus 7 is 24. You do 5 points of damage piercing, and then how much do you do with the ensnaring strike? Don't I have to make a save?
Hold on, let's see.
Plus
It
favorite foe.
is strength saving throw, and the saving throw will be a.
I pass.
Where is-
I pass.
You passed it.
I rolled a 23.
Jerk. Right.
So
Does your favorite enemy?
he if he does ensnaring strike, he can't do favorite enemy.
Oh,
'Cause
Right.
The favorite foe takes his concentration. So
Oh, bats.
the bats can though. One.
Son of a.
So you did a total of 6 damage.
Yes.
All right, it is now its turn. It is going to attack Xiv twice because it's really mad at him. Does a 17 hit you?
Yep.
Take 11 points of piercing damage as it brings down his. But we'll make that 5 because you're raging. And then he's going to try to stab you again. That's a natural 20. So it's 10 damage, but you take 5. I rolled really, really well on the hit and not very good on the damage. So you took a total of 10 damage from it just like clawing at you.
It was blinded, by the way. So it's a disadvantage on both attacks.
Okay, well, we'll put that together. So we'll say one of them hit you, and now we will roll the second attack. Well, if it's disadvantage, that means that we're going to take the one. All right, so it blinded. So it hits you with one of them, and then it misses with the other. So thank you for reminding me on the blind. It did have disadvantage. So it's trying to find you. It does manage to hit you once. And with that, it is Ziv's turn.
All right. Shooting arc off the Tesla coil again, DC 10.
Con save? Failed
yeah.
again. Failed again.
That is a bonus action, by the way.
Okay.
Not that I can do anything on my bonus
Right,
actions
right,
anyway.
right. How much damage do I take?
3.
Alright, it's blinded again. You keep hitting it with the light. It's blinding. It seems to be sensitive to that.
It's blinded by the light.
It is. 16 plus 7 is 23. That'll hit. Roll your damage, so 2d6.
Well, I'm still raging, so I want to...
So 2d6 plus 7 damage. And we have 16 damage. Xiv, what does this look like?
Yeah.
Well, as it goes back to try to puke acid on me again, I crack it right in the esophagus, and it pours out all over itself.
Oh, it melts
into a pile.
itself. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So you take the giant coil, it goes to breathe that weapon at you. You pop it in the mouth. The acid just kind of pours over itself. It melts the carapace as the entire thing just kind of melts in this heap as it falls lifeless to the ground. And with that, combat is over. First thing up will be Estelle. Is there anything that you want to do?
How is Ziv looking on hit points?
Pretty rough.
He looks pretty melted.
If I'd have taken another one of those breaths, I'd have been indecent.
I'm going to do 2 things. I'm just standing there while he's saying this to me and looking at him. I'm going to do a Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Okay.
And a prestidigitation to fix his coat and his hand.
Oh, see, the plumage comes back on his hat.
The plumage and if any acid had burned away the coat.
Oh, God.
I have to take the hat off and put it up under my arm.
Right. All right. So she heals you for 17. As that's happening, Darundal, what are you doing?
Going to... I can heal with my hit dice, right? Is that
you
only
can.
in a long one?
You can do it in a
Right.
short rest. We're in a short rest right now. Also, note the arrows that you fired in this round, the ones that hit, melted when it went on the insides. Those are lost arrows.
Okay. Right. All right, I'm going to use a hit dice.
2
Let's see
ones
what
in a
that does.
row? Wes, you're not allowed to keep rolling.
I roll a 6.
Yep.
All right, I'm almost up to full. Be all right.
Okay.
I'm going to have to blow another one. I'm going to roll 3 hit dice now.
I can help if you need more.
I'm pretty good.
Okay. So you spend some time resting. Now, Darundal, you go about and look, and normally when you hunt things in the wild, you're like, hey, at least we can eat these things. But the acid blood that courses through these things, this is not something you would eat.
I
But-
take some of my mother's files and fill.
That you could
With-
do. That you
How many
could
can I do?
I am also going to lay its legs out and then crack them with the Tesla coil and see if one of the legs could be used as a weapon.
You could. You could use it as a weapon.
Because it looked like it was bladed up to a point, and then it was like
is,
normal.
All right, so you're forging a weapon off of it. Darundal is collecting some acid for maybe any of you. Who knows? You just might need some acid. As that is happening, what is Estelle doing?
I would be going back to Baka and making sure that Baka's okay and nothing's changed.
Okay, you go back. Baka is still out. He's still mumbling something, and as you get closer, you hear that seems like he's like really wrestling with something, and you hear him say the word Clara, which is the name of the lady that did this to him. It's like, and you sense that he's still in turmoil, like as if he's still fighting her.
We'll get through this soon.
Anything we can do for him?
I have an idea. I want to go back to the wagon.
Okay.
And I want to look at things that lash the boards together, perhaps in the yoke that hooks to the mules, I'm guessing they were? Or the horses? What
Horses.
are they? I'm looking for anything that we could use as wire. Like the bands of the
You
Conestoga
absolutely
wagon.
could do that if you damage the wagon.
So we'll just have to put the canvas over the top and not have the big dome.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody okay with this? At least one row?
I'm perfectly okay with that.
Okay. So it's going to take the better part of the day to do what you're trying to do. It's a good chance for you to kind of camp. Darundal, you can go and kind of scout and about. And then Xiv and Estelle can work on. You're going to have to not only get that apart, but you're going to kind of try to melt that down a little bit to do exactly what you're trying to do. But you have everything here to do that. You have the know-how and the ability and the materials to do that.
What I really think is, for a smaller person, they probably use copper wire, and I'm guessing that they would put a band around one and a band around another and use the electrical current to kind of charge the ritual or whatever. But since I'm stronger, I can just bend this metal as long as it's conductive and just bend it to make the band.
You're also able to go into Malagris's tome, and you kind of see the example of this in the book, and you're actually kind of pulling it together. So this isn't like you're guessing. At this point, you're like, wait, no, I know how to do this. Like, you're trying to figure this out. So we're going to stop here. This is a good stopping point. And where we're going to break is the two of you are working on a way to do this ritual, to enter into the mind of Baka, to see what you can do to assist him and overcoming or getting well or whatever it is that needs to happen. As you two are doing that, Darundal, you are scouting about on the outskirts, and with that, the image begins to distort as we are now transported back. And as the image distorts, the arid air and then the vision of the desert kind of goes back into the bubble as the bubble gets smaller, and Marcus goes, "Oh, thank you so much all for joining us tonight. Thank you, and we will be back soon to hear the next part of this tale as we find our adventurers are now trapped in another realm, a realm known only as Har Akir. And with that, we thank you all. Be sure to tip the waitress on the way out, and we'll see you again here next time. Thank you so much." And with that, we will end episode 5 of Masters of Dread and pick up next time.